Ladies and gents, welcome back to Punk Politics, and it is time for an alternative paper review. What's up, you sexy mother hubbards? I trust you've had a good Christmas, and the sore heads thereafter have now dissipated, as we now enjoy these sort of nameless, dateless, in-betweeny bits in between Christmas and New Year. At which point, I suppose we can write off the events of the last 12 months as just a sort of cocktail of anxiety, stress, depression, just a bunch of stuff that happened. But before they too become the events of the past, let's look at the events of now in what passes for the Great British Free Press. First up, to the Telegraph, which is your father's favourite paper. Although, as has become abundantly clear over this Christmas, your father is now suffering from dementia. So, draw what conclusions you will from that. Sunak is planning to scrap inheritance tax ahead of the general election. I feel like Tory policies and briefing lines and PR, it's just going round and round in a circle at the moment. One week is, we gotta stop the boats. Next week is, trans people over here. I'm scared of the trans people. Next up, what's the next rabid and rotting horse on the merry-go-round? It's inheritance tax again. Let's talk about that, sure. Like, how long before we get back to hate marches and statues? Over to the Mirror next, who are covering NHS car parking charges, which, look, I want to be angry about this. I think it's amoral or immoral that we still charge nurses and doctors money just to get back to work to continue to care for the most vulnerable. Obviously, I don't like it, and I want to see it eradicated, but guys, can we just accept that politics in this country is irreparably broken? Because truly, if we can't get something as simple as not charging nurses to come back to the hospital, if we can't get that right, we have no hope in resolving complex questions like climate change, running out of oil, Putin's war on Ukraine, robots taking everyone's jobs. Like, I did a thread about this last week where I was like, look, I understand that it's wrong, but maybe these things just take a little bit of time. And then I spooled back 5 years. 5 years ago, people were throwing their hands up in the air going, I can't believe we're charging nurses to go into work. Then I spooled back 10 years ago. Have you seen? They're charging nurses and doctors to park in the hospital where they come back to work again. Then I went 15 years back. We think it's outrageous that nurses are being charged money just to go back into the hospital again. And then, 20 years ago. Well, obviously, we value the work that nurses do very, very highly. And I promise you, we will look into this post-haste. This has been going on for decades. Like, honestly, any journalists that work for the Mirror, I appreciate the sentiment. I know it's coming from a good place. But guys, honestly, by this point, you may as well be campaigning to make British summers hotter. Or to, feed hungry people. Like, you're never going to solve these problems. It is beyond the political class. The solutions you would need to arrive at sit outside of their cognitive ability. It's like trying to teach a dog how to play chess.
It's punk politics, all up in your grill.
Over to the Times next, who report that the Tories are going to attempt to woo first-time buyers. Wow! That's inspiring stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking about changing my vote. Straight off the bat, lads. But just really consider that for a second. The Tories are going to attempt to woo first-time buyers, people who are struggling to get onto the ladder. The Tories are going to try to woo those people in to vote Tory. Yeah, the Tories. The Conservative Party, who have presided over the housing crisis, who have seen rents explode in inner city urban areas where all of the jobs are, who refused to cap energy prices in any sort of meaningful way, which saw inflation go up, which meant the Bank of England interest rates went up, which pushed first-time buyer mortgages way out of the reach of hundreds of thousands of first-time buyers who were just about to get on the ladder until they went in to go and get the mortgage paid. Well, hang on a second. It's gone up to double the amount for the repayments. That Conservative Party, they are going to woo people trying to get on the ladder. They're going to woo those people. How? Are they going to take VAT off of tent sales? Meanwhile, over to The Guardian, who say GCHQ are warning the government against government by WhatsApp. Now, they say it's because it's insecure and it could be compromised by foreign powers, which is weird because I say it's very secure, encrypted, and you can self-delete the messages, which means the only discernible problem I can establish for using WhatsApp is that GCHQ think that it's too secure and it can't be accessed by domestic powers. Guys, I'm going to have to ask that you stop using WhatsApp because it's a bit insecure and it could be accessed by foreign adversarial powers. Why? Can you access it? No. Right. I mean, look, I'm no fan of the British government using WhatsApp to conduct their day-to-day political affairs. I'm just not. I think if you are elected into office and you have power and responsibility, your track record and how you speak to internal departments and other ministers, all of the context that surrounds the decisions that you made in something like a pandemic or a war, all of those exchanges should be the property of the British state, and they should be put in to the British Museum and archives and all of that. And I think unless you have a really good reason for why you can't hand over those messages to the National Archive for how they disappeared or how you broke or lost the phone, I think, if you do lose it and you don't have a good reason, I think you should be prosecuted for spying. I just do. But I also think if we are to listen to a body or an institution with regards to what technology is secure or what is proper and what could or could not be recorded, I don't know, I just feel like maybe GCHQ traded in their integrity when they decided to record everyone's phone calls without their consent and with absolutely no oversight. But as an important caveat to that, please don't Diana me. I don't even like Paris. Finally, over to the Murdochian hate pamphlet that is The Sun, who say cash back with a bang. It's a weird headline, isn't it? I feel like it should be cash is back with a bang, or just Boxing Day sales increase, or the high street is back, or so. I don't know, like cash back with a bang. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's a weird one. I feel like maybe their economics high street editor took the Christmas to New Year period off. They got some hungover intern in there going like, cash, but yeah, it's fine, just put it out. Either that or maybe Harry Cole is sort of covering for the economics editor and he left like 5 donuts over the bit where he thought A was, but there's no. Anyway, this is obviously the story that Boxing Day sales are back and everyone's psyched because this could be an indicator that economically we are turning a corner. And this is, I suppose, it's not directly positive or supportive of the Tories, but it does kind of speak to this idea that we turned a corner, that the economy might be getting back to where it needs to be, which would be welcome news for Jeremy Hunt and the wider Tory party, because as we get closer to the GE, voters are going to want to know that the UK is avoiding recession, that we're returning to growth. And what better, more visual signifier could you ask for than a bunch of cretins running into stores pretending that they've got a good deal? And I say that they're cretins because they are cretins. There's been study after expose about what a Boxing Day sale actually is, but it never makes any difference. Like year after year, in they go, down Oxford Street, down Regent. Oh my God, I got such a great deal. Did you? Well, what did you buy? Oh, it's this Yves Saint Laurent jacket. It was £9,000. And how much did you get it for? Only £502. Was it ever actually in there for £9,000? Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, sure it was. Honestly, this country with its shopping addiction and consumerism, but then also kind of caked or decorated in British exceptionalism. Like we look over at the States when they do their Black Friday stuff, people tearing out of a Walmart holding a plasma TV, and we're like, God, look at these idiots. Oh, thank God we live in the UK where we would never behave like that. And then not only are we actually getting into the whole Black Friday thing now, which itself has been exposed to death. Like all of the products, all of the deals, they're not real deals. You're not getting any discount. All it is hype. But even Black Friday aside, we're just like, thank God we live in Britain where we would never behave in such an ugly, consumerist, ridiculous manner. Spool forward to Boxing Day and we're like, oi, Jackie, I just got this laptop. Yeah, it's on sale. 50% off a price that it never was. Oh, that's brilliant, Dave. Yeah, that is good value. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget, you can join my new YouTube community if you would like. It starts at I think it's £4, which sounds like a lot, but remember, it's £4 after I've reduced it by 2,000% from what it never was.